Awesome. All right. Well, welcome again to the Education Prize Winners Announcement webinar. This is our second ePrize. My name is Nathan Gilla, and I'm a program manager with CLA for the education workstream. We'll go ahead and go to the purpose of the Education Prize. The purpose of the ePrize when it started is really to foster collaborative projects among public schools, charter schools, and community organizations to improve educational outcomes regionally and career outcomes for underserved students in Orange County. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Mark Percy, who's going to be talking a little bit about CLA, Orange County, and the ePrize.
Thanks, Nathan. And Nathan, again, thanks for your work over the last couple of months, really bringing the second ePrize to fulfillment. I think the selection that was made reflected, the best candidates, and you'll be hearing more about that later. But we couldn't be more pleased with the quality of the partners that we have through the process that you designed. So thank you. I also, before getting started, I wanted to acknowledge Jeff Hittenberger. Jeff, I know you've got to get off early, but I just want to thank Jeff, Nathan and I, and Amy Kaufman, who is now beginning to run this program. All of us have known Jeff for a long time. We've all found in Jeff someone who is incredibly passionate about opportunity for every kid in Orange County and success for them. What that means is really driving innovation and also connecting to the workplace. So with that, Jeff, thank you very much. And please, if you have time for a few words, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Mark. And I want to thank all of you for your involvement in making this ePrize a reality. And for your commitment to innovation, collaboration in Orange County public education. You're making, with this prize, you're making a huge difference in the lives of students, and we're so grateful for that. I greet you on behalf of our County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Almi Hadis, and just want to let you know that at Orange County Department of Ed, we are committed to continuing to offer our support for this initiative. So again, thank you and congratulations on a great initiative.
Great. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Okay. And thank Al for us also. He's been instrumental in all of this. If we can go back to the slides. What I wanted to do at first was just to acknowledge the partnership between CLA-OC, the CEO Leadership Alliance, and Attallah. And in the CLA Leadership Alliance, we really have 40 of some of the most prominent companies in Orange County. And the mission is really to drive an innovation hub, making sure in the next 10 years, Orange County becomes the top tier innovation hub in America. To do that, it's really a matter of creating innovation, high wage jobs, and then also ensure there's talent to fulfill those jobs. Luckily, you have, if we could, I'm not muting. Also, I'd like to thank all of our initiatives at CLA-OC are led by executives. And so Kim Kripe, the president of Chalk, many of you know her as an incredible leader, obviously passionate about kids and students. And she is our chair. And then we have Robin Shanahan, who's the co-COO and head of HR for PIMCO, and who is also passionate about students reaching their full potential, especially in the workplace. So with that leadership, you can see that in the education K through 14 career pathways work stream, we call it, we have incredible leadership. So what I'd like to do is maybe go to the next slide. And what this does is tie into Chapman, because in Chapman, we found a partner that had already started an initiative. And you can see the mission of OC Excellent Public Schools Initiative started with really the blessing of Daniele Strupa at the very top of the university, and Margaret Grogan, who is the dean and you'll be hearing from her in a second. But two things on the mission. One is excellence in student achievement, high school, college graduation, closing the achievement gap, especially for underserved and first-gen students, and then connecting that to economic growth of the county. And that's what attracted CLAOC about partnering with Attallah on this. And then we have an advisory board that's played an incredibly critical role, because we saw that the task was huge, and we needed members of different communities all coming together, key stakeholders. But aside from their formal roles, we were looking for people who were passionate about the same thing we were in terms of students reaching their full potential. And we found that in the members of the advisory board, which are listed next. So as you can see, we have this list cuts across nonprofits. It has business leaders, thought leaders. We have a number of family foundations and academic leaders. And this group has really, over the last 3 or so years, really brought so much to the table in terms of not only financial resources, but also strategic relationships, thought leadership. In addition to quarterly meetings, we've had ongoing discussions, and many of them have leaned into various parts of our initiative and really sharpened our thinking on how to do this right, taking into consideration strengthening the community. So again, we want to thank the advisory board. This is a board that we're going to be actively growing now with this bigger task, what we start on with the second ePrize, and linking it to the workplace. Next slide, please. And especially, we would like to do a huge thank you to the 3 families that have been critical for funding the second ePrize. The Sun Family Foundation, Joanna Kong, has been an incredible partner and leader in this round of the ePrize, the second ePrize. The K Family Foundation, Nathan and I both worked for the K Family Foundation, Ethan K and Elam, and they have been very generous throughout this whole journey we've been on. And Pam and Andy Horowitz are incredible, not only in terms of this ePrize, they fully funded the first ePrize, and we have to call them kind of the thought leaders and the strategic leaders of this whole initiative. So Andy and Pam, thank you so much for everything you've done. And with that, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Margaret. Margaret is leaving us. She's stepping down as Dean of the Attallah College. She's taking some time off on sabbatical. And we wish her all the best. But in Margaret, we found someone who was, again, incredibly devoted to students reaching their full potential, and understood critically that the strength of the community is reflected on the strength of Chapman University. And she understood you have to get beyond the 4 walls of the university. So Margaret, if you can just say a few words, appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you, and thank you, Nathan, and thank you to all the team for putting this great virtual roundtable together. Of course, I miss being in the room with everybody. I have really enjoyed all of our roundtables to date, and I'm looking forward to the next roundtable where we can be all together. In the meantime, this has been done so beautifully, so thank you all. For me, this has been one of the highlights of my career. I think the moment I understood Andy and Pam Horowitz's vision for really strengthening the educational outcomes of the whole of the Orange County, and particularly of the students who have been least well served, I felt that this was not only something that the Attallah College would embrace immediately, but that I personally wanted to be very fully involved in, which is why it's so exciting to be announcing the second ePrize already. This has moved along so beautifully. One of the reasons the Attallah College embraced this idea immediately is because we really understand that education, whereas it's very important for the classroom teachers to be really thinking about how they work with students and families, that's only one part of the picture. The whole part of the picture is classroom teachers, school building principals, and other leadership in districts and charter schools have to be in partnership with the whole community, and particularly with the business community, the nonprofit community, all of the various individuals and agencies that care about the next generation of learners. It's only together that we'll be able to nurture that next generation into the kind of really well-informed, culturally sensitive, race-conscious educators and citizens of the future. So these kinds of partnerships that have been developed through the ePrize, and thank you again to our very generous donors, are the ones that are going to help make that difference. It's the community and schools, higher education, all working together. So thank you again, everybody, for being here. And I'm looking forward to the third ePrize, which I hope will be coming in the near future. Good luck to all the winners today. Looking forward to see how those projects develop.
Thank you, Margaret.
Great. Thank you, Margaret. And I want to echo Margaret's point about the collaboration and the community, and thank all of you for putting in the work, for submitting great proposals. We're pretty excited to be able to move forward with the second ePrize and the set of proposals. But we want to take a moment to reflect on the first ePrize and share a little bit with you all about what that entailed. So a look back at our first ePrize. We had the first ePrize go to a partnership between a K-8 charter school, El Sol Science and Arts Academy, K-8 public school, Manuel Escueta Elementary, and 2 high school districts, Anaheim Union High School District and high schools in Santa Ana Unified School District. And it was really around this project around parent learning walks to increase parent engagement and have more collaboration between the different LEAs. And some of the early impressions, this project is still in progress right now, but a lot of observation has been done through meetings, through interviews of principals, parent liaisons, district administrators, and we had the research team share some early impressions from what they had as well. So Dominic, if I can have you go to that slide real quick. One more. Okay. Perfect. So here's some of the preliminary lessons learned that the research team has gathered, is that parents understand better the goals of the class and home assignments after these parent learning walks. The participation supports parents' connection to child's teachers and schools, and the motivation reported is higher as well with this education and with stakeholders being involved in their students' education. And the LEA collaboration resulted also in each of the 3 participating institutions learning from one another. I think that's one of the beautiful things that's happened, is that we've had charter schools work with public schools, and we've had different districts in our own region work together in many different ways to be able to do this. So we've had them kind of think about how to increase parent engagement, focus on academics and SEL, which we know is so important, especially with a lot of the students going digital and learning happening digitally too. And they're also looking at the ways that the parent learning walks have encouraged parent advocacy for children and more willingness to partner with educators to support their students at home. So this is a little bit about our first ePrize. Now I'm going to hand it over to Amy Kaufman, who's our Director of Workforce for CLAOC, to walk us through the second ePrize and the purpose. Amy.
Nathan, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining us today. We couldn't be more excited to gather together to celebrate this great work that we're doing collaboratively across our region. As we move into the second ePrize and the implementation, we just wanted to orient you to the purpose of the second ePrize. We focused on work-based learning. As you all know, that research shows that work-based learning increases student engagement, and that an engaged student is most likely to stay in school. And a student who stays in school is most likely to continue in college and career. And I can't think of a better combination to strengthen our regional economy here in Orange County. And I couldn't be prouder to be a part of it. As you can see here, we've outlined for you the high quality internships and mentoring experiences are going to be part of the second ePrize. Of course, we're going to continue to grow our collaborative relationships, and that's always a good thing. Really wanted to enhance the curriculum so that it's based on labor market needs. Ideally, students here that are in Orange County would stay in Orange County to continue to grow our economy together. And then, of course, professional development for our educators. You know, these are the folks out there every day that are showing up. Our administrators, our teachers, our school counselors, they are in it all the time for our students, and you know, just couldn't be more privileged to serve them. And these pilots really are designed to create a sustainable model so that others can look and say, oh, let's do that. So we're hoping to see that really come to scale as time goes by. Can we go to the next slide, please? The industry sectors and the companies that we're focusing on as business and finance, and that's of course through PIMCO. Health science and medical technology, and that's through Children's Hospital, CHOC. And of course, information and communication technologies, and that's the University of California at Irvine. California has 15 industry sectors. These are just 3 of them. However, these are some of the very fundamentally important industry sectors here in Orange County. So it's nice to have this work deeply situated in that. Next slide, please. We have 3 major CLA OC member organizations that came together who will collaborate with this ePrize award. And we called them out just a little bit earlier, but you can see here on the screen who they are. But what's really so exciting about this is that really when you look at it like from an aggregate view, we have 30,000 employees represented across these 3 stellar companies who are participating in this. And just thank you so much to the leadership that has come alongside this effort to make these things happen. Next slide, please. Of course, what could not be better than bringing together education and the workforce? And our deepest thanks to the Orange County Department of Education, Superintendent Maharis, Dr. Jeff Hittenberger, the Chief Academic Officer. Of course, our friends at OCSTEM, Layla Riley, great to be working with you again. The director, of course, Lori Smith, you're just a gem. And as our project manager through the OCSTEM initiative of this ePrize, great to be working with you side by side. And of course, you know, D. Margaret Grogan and Michelle Samora, you guys, you're the heartbeat. You really made all of this happen. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And our next slide, turn it over to you.
Thank you, Amy. And I want to continue with the acknowledgements and recognize our ePrize RFP Development Committee. So this was a group of people, thought leaders that came together since January and spent countless hours, countless meetings, and worked hard to produce the RFP, which schools then wrote proposals for. So we had a wonderful team, including Margaret Grogan, Richard Aram from UC Irvine School of Education, Kim Case from Cal State Fullerton, Tom Capizzi from CHOC Children's, Bob Martin from UC Irvine, Stacy Sasaki from PIMCO, Jesse Benron from the OCBC, Amy Jane Griffiths from the Attallah College, who's going to be our researcher for this project as well, Kathy Boyd from OCTE, Lori Smith from OCSTEM, Malik from OCSTEM, and myself as well. So just a big thank you to all of our development committee, and then I want to transition to introducing our judges for the ePrize as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so we had a judging committee of 9 members composed of the industry partners from the different sectors represented, as well as educators as well. So we had Dr. Margaret Rogan join us, Tom Capizzi from CHOC, who's the CHRO at Children's Hospital of Orange County, Stacy Sasaki, who's the Vice President of Global Head of Campus Recruiting at PIMCO, Amy Kaufman, who's leading our Career Education and Workforce Development Initiative with CLA, and Bob Martin, Senior Director of Performance Excellence at UC Irvine. Next slide, please. These 5 individuals were also joined by myself, Dr. Amy Griffiths, who's the Assistant Professor at the Attallah College of Educational Studies, and she's contributed a lot into the evaluation and research piece, and she's excited to be working with all the applicants and the winners as well as we move forward. Kathy Boyd from OCDE and Lori Smith from OC STEM Initiative. So this was our judging committee that spent a lot of hours together individually reading proposals that you've all submitted and attending in-person interviews, or in this case, virtual interviews with our candidates, and made the decisions on how to award the winners this year. Next slide, please. So with that, the winners of the second ePrize, the movement you've all been waiting for, the second ePrize will award $150,000 to these three following organizations. The first is Tustin Unified School District for their project, which you'll hear about, Samueli Academy, which you'll hear about, and Anaheim Union High School District. And the unique opportunity here is that each of the schools will get to work with different businesses on working through developing work-based learning models. So the pairings that we've identified based on the proposals and based on the conversations with the companies are as follows. Tustin Unified will be primarily working with UC Irvine, and they'll be working with PIMCO as a secondary company. Samueli Academy will be working with PIMCO as their primary employer, along with Chalk Children's and UC Irvine as their secondary companies. And then Anaheim Union High School District will be working with Chalk Children's directly in the healthcare pathway, and then working with UC Irvine as a secondary. So this is an overview of our winners for the second ePrize. Next, what we'll do is we'll go through each of the projects just to briefly highlight and identify some slides they put together. So with Tustin Unified, their project and proposal is around a summer internship program where students will allow and get a chance to complete 90 hours of a supervised internship in addition to completing their college and career internship course. The unique part about this is that this is a district-wide internship pilot program they're looking to build that can be a model for other school districts as well going forward. And their goal is to increase the number of sections and have industry partnerships be able to have a total of 100 student interns. Next slide, please. Okay. A little bit more about the internship program. It's an intersection of educational counseling and work-based learning. They put a lot of thought into helping students develop their own interests and their portfolio. They've done a really good job around the soft skills development, ensuring that students are going to be ready for the workforce, not just with the 21st century schools, but also with the job training skills as well. It's a high impact mentorship for rising seniors and an opportunity to learn about what we have to offer in Orange County to make it attractive for them to come back in the future as well. And it helps us develop a pipeline in high growth regional industries as well. So with that, I'll hand it over to Lori to speak about the next proposal, which was Samueli Academy.
Thank you, Nathan. Had to get that unmute squared away. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to see you and excited to work on these projects with you. Samueli Academy, we're excited about this model as well. This is an opportunity for the team to explore how to use the Virtual Enterprise International as a way to create the internship. So students, seniors will be participating in a year-long program around the virtual enterprise. They'll be able to develop a business, which is great, and then they'll be able to work with mentors throughout the process. The industry partners during this time will be able to provide skill-based mentoring. They'll be able to serve as judges and help with career exploration. Next slide. So with the virtual enterprise, we'll be looking at how work-based learning is embedded. And as I mentioned, the students will create companies, and then they will divide into teams, and they'll be able to work with mentors in specific areas. For example, accounting and finance, as they look at how payroll works and balance sheets. They'll be able to work with HR professionals when they have personnel issues, which will be all around the teamwork that they're working on. They'll also be able to do sales and marketing as well as information technology. These experiences will be augmented by field trips, job shadowing, and internship opportunities for some of the students. Next slide. So again, the students have, one of the values that we see with this is that the students will be working in a blended environment. Part of the work will be in a virtual environment, and then they will also be able to meet with professionals. And part of what we're looking at with this is how we'll be able to see the skills that come through with the virtual internship, how those align with the requirements for entry-level positions in the companies. Next slide. Then the third project that we'll be working with is the Anaheim Union High School District. And with this project, we're looking at a scalable career pathway in the healthcare industry. The program includes academic preparation, career exposure and training, as well as social emotional learning. And the project team includes a diverse group of organizations in addition to the high school district. Big Brothers and Big Sisters will be working with the team, as well as North County ROP and the industry partners. There'll be opportunities for one-on-one mentoring with the students, as well as internships for 20 students. The key issue that we are looking at, along with the pathway development, is the fact that there are multiple systems that are aligned and working together. So we expect to see numerous lessons learned from this. Next slide. Anaheim has a focus in all of their pathways to ensure that the 5 C's are embedded, which you can see on that slide, and that there's a continuum of support around work-based learning, social emotional support, and reflection and feedback. Next slide. Nathan?
Thank you, Lori.
I went through that very fast, so if you have questions.
Thank you, Lori. So again, to recap, those are our 3 winners: Tustin Unified School District, Samueli Academy, and Anaheim Union High School District, and their partnership proposal they proposed. Each of the winners will be getting introduced to their companies within the next week, and they'll be working with Lori, who will be acting as a project manager, along with Amy Griffiths, the evaluator, on their action plans and implementation plans over the next month and a half, as they kind of highlight how are they going to make the shifts necessary because of COVID-19, obviously, that we're all having to deal with, and while still trying to create a great student experience and make sure that we're able to employ them going forward. I'll highlight the one unique thing about this and why we're so excited is that this is the first time we're able to think systematically about work-based learning opportunities for high school students earlier than college students. So I think, with CLA, I speak on behalf of everybody on the call. So we are excited to see how these models can be rolled out to more schools and help support more of our students regionally. So with that, Mark, I'll hand it over to you for some wrap up and Q&A.
Absolutely. And thank everyone for joining us. And I know some of you have not had a chance to speak, but you've played such a key role in this. Just thank you across the board. We're honored to do this work. I will pick up on what Nathan was saying in terms of CLA, because we're really taking it from the workplace all the way back into the K through 14. And that's what makes this unusual. We're really mapping where are the jobs, where are the emerging areas, what are the jobs that are going to be future-proofed, that are not susceptible to automation. As we all know, 60% of jobs projected in Orange County in the next 10 years are going to be making less than $60,000. Many are in industries that are extremely hard hit by COVID, but even in a non-COVID world would be threatened. So what we're trying to do is work with the capital side, work with partners like Octane, Beal Center, at the Cove, others, to build a stronger ecosystem for jobs, and then also to work back. We have a very robust program at the university level with many, many companies involved at different levels of commitment. really looking at retaining and developing talent. We have too many young people that are educated well in Orange County and then end up leaving because they don't think there's any opportunities. So we're trying to wed the companies much earlier to the university students and the community college students. But for a subset of those companies, they are willing to look even younger and to really begin to build, especially in these areas that we know are going to be key areas of innovation, driving the future economy. We have to think longer term, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So it's a very systematic, integrated approach. The pilot is the basis of our K through 14, but with Amy coming on board and her background on career development, we are already beginning to look at other grant opportunities, bringing other CLA member companies to be involved even at this younger stage. So nothing but exciting things ahead, and we hope to work and build this with all of you because it's going to take all of us leaning into this. It's a huge effort, but it's a long-term effort, but we have all the right players at the table. And I think we all are beginning to see how incredibly collaborative Orange County can be and what we can accomplish together when we are. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Nathan, do we have time for a few questions, or do we want to just respond via the chat feature after this is over?
Yeah, I think we can take a few questions. So if anybody has any questions, please shoot and we'll respond.
Nathan.
I don't know that I have a question, but I just want to say on behalf of Samueli Academy and the youth that we serve, thank you for your, your support of us and your confidence in us, and we will not let you down. And we look forward to taking what we do and with PIMCO it looks like, and really creating something amazing that other schools can duplicate, districts can duplicate. So just thank you again on behalf of our kids.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
Yeah, I like to echo that. Anthony, are you really at the beach, or is that just?
Yeah, it's Bora Bora. The seagulls are a problem, but other than that, it's perfect here.
Wow, lucky guy. So again, yeah, on behalf of the Anaheim Union High School District, I'm Mike Matsuda, I'm superintendent. Really want to thank you and also congratulate the other awardees. It's really inspiring to hear that there are kind of three prongs going forward now. So it's really, really exciting, and we're very honored to be an awardee. And also to our collaborators, Big Brothers Big Sisters, as well as North Orange County ROP. So thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Hi, I'm Judy from Tustin Unified. I'm a counselor on special assignment. I also wanted to echo that. I'm looking forward to learning from everybody as we learn to intersect intentional advisement and mentorship and internship for our students. I know it's going to make a really big impact for our students.
Thank you, Judy. Okay, I think I don't see any questions. So with that, thank you all for joining us on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thank you.